In this video, I want to talk about when C-PTSD meets ASD meltdowns and how to navigate high-stress triggers and emotional safety. What happens when one partner's nervous system is screaming danger while the other partner's nervous system is collapsing under overload? What happens when trauma hypervigilance collides with an autistic meltdown? For many neurodiverse couples, this is not just an argument, it becomes a full nervous system emergency. One partner experiences emotional unpredictability as unsafe because of C-PTSD. The other experiences emotional intensity, sensory overload, or relational demands as neurologically unbearable because of autism. And suddenly, the home stops feeling like a relationship and starts feeling like a tactical war zone. Every tone matters, every facial expression matters, every silence matters, every door closing feels loaded. One partner scans for abandonment, rejection, or emotional danger. The other partner's brain is trying desperately to shut down incoming stimuli before the system crashes completely. And the tragedy is this: both people are often trying to survive, but each person accidentally becomes the other person's trigger. So today, we're going to unpack this intersection carefully and compassionately. We're going to talk about why these conflicts escalate so fast, why neither partner is necessarily the villain, what is actually happening neurobiologically, and how couples can begin replacing defense survival reactions with emotional safety and co-regulation. Because many of these explosive moments are not character flaws, they're nervous system failures. And once you understand that distinction, everything changes. Now, if you're new here, this channel focuses on neurodiverse relationships, autism, trauma, emotional regulation, and helping couples move away from shame-based frameworks toward understanding structure and healing. And today's topic may be one of the most important conversations we can have, because when C-PTSD and ASD collide inside intimate relationships, couples often misdiagnose each other. The traumatized partner thinks, "You don't care, you're emotionally abandoning me, you're cold, you're dangerous." Meanwhile, the autistic partner thinks, "I can't survive this intensity. I'm being attacked. I'm constantly being criticized. I can't process all this. I need escape immediately." Neither nervous system feels safe. And without understanding what is happening underneath the behaviors, couples often enter a devastating cycle of mutual re-traumatization. Let's talk about the collision of two survival systems. We're going to begin with the foundational truth. C-PTSD and ASD can create radically different nervous system threat responses. A partner with C-PTSD often develops hypervigilance. Their nervous system becomes trained to constantly scan for emotional danger, changes in tone, withdrawal, facial expressions, silence, unpredictability, emotional disconnection, rejection cues. Their brain learns danger can happen at any moment, so stay alert. But the autistic nervous system often becomes overwhelmed by emotional intensity, rapid verbal processing, unpredictable conflict, sensory overload, relational ambiguity, criticism, and too much simultaneous input. And when overload hits, the autistic nervous system may move towards shutdown, escape, withdrawal, emotional flattening, loss of verbal access, irritability, defensiveness, or full-blown meltdowns. Now, imagine these systems interacting during stress. The traumatized partner sees withdrawal and panic rises. "You're leaving me emotionally again." The autistic partner experiences pursuit or emotional intensity and panic rises. "I can't neurologically handle this again." So one partner moves closer while the other partner neurologically needs distance. One partner interprets distance as danger, the other experiences closeness as overload. And suddenly, both nervous systems escalate each other automatically. And this is why many neurodiverse couples feel trapped in impossible relational loops. Not because either person is evil, but because both nervous systems are trying to survive using incompatible emergency strategies. Now let's talk about why meltdowns trigger trauma so deeply. For many trauma survivors, emotional unpredictability feels profoundly unsafe. Raised voices, sudden shutdowns, explosive frustration, slamming doors, emotional disappearance. These moments may unconsciously connect to earlier experiences of chaos, abandonment, neglect, volatility, or fear. So when an autistic meltdown occurs, the traumatized partner may not simply experience stress. Their body may experience, "This feels like danger from the past." And here's the important distinction. The nervous system does not always distinguish between present threat and remembered threat. The body reacts first. Heart rate spikes, muscles tense, adrenaline surges, cortisol spikes, catastrophic thinking activates. And many trauma survivors begin unconsciously trying to regain safety through emotional pursuit, questioning, reassurance seeking, monitoring, protest behaviors, long conversations that are all over the map, or attempts to force emotional engagement. But here's the devastating irony. These attempts to restore safety unintentionally intensify autistic overload, because during meltdown states, the autistic brain often loses access to higher order processing. Language becomes harder. Emotional decoding becomes harder. Sensory filtering collapses. So the more emotionally intense the interaction becomes, the less processing capacity may remain. This is why logical conversations during meltdowns often fail catastrophically. The nervous system is offline. You're no longer dealing primarily with relationship skills. You're dealing with neurological survival states. Now, let's reframe the meltdown. I want to say something incredibly important here. Understanding meltdowns neurologically does not mean harmful behavior becomes acceptable. No. Trauma does not excuse abuse. Autism does not excuse intimidation. C-PTSD does not excuse emotional aggression. Emotional safety still matters deeply. But reframing matters because blame-based interpretations often intensify instability. If a meltdown gets interpreted as, "You're intentionally cruel," well, then shame escalates. And when shame escalates, defensiveness escalates. And when defensiveness escalates, threat escalates. But if couples begin understanding our nervous systems are collapsing right now, simultaneously, then the goal changes. The goal stops becoming win the argument and becomes restore nervous system safety. That shift is enormous because now both partners can begin asking, what is overwhelming the system? What sensory input needs reducing? What emotional pacing is needed right now? What structure creates safety? What de-escalates both nervous systems simultaneously? This moves couples away from moral combat and toward collaborative stabilization. Now, let's talk about a tactical blueprint for co-regulation. This is what can actually help in real time. We're going to build a practical framework. Step 1, recognize escalation earlier. Most couples intervene way too late. By the time voices rise or shutdown happens, both nervous systems are already flooded. That bullet's already left the gun. The goal is identifying early warning signs. For the autistic partner, this may include sensory agitation, repetitive movements, irritability, shorter answers, being a little more snappy, loss of verbal fluency, increased rigidity, pacing, withdrawal. For the traumatized partner, this may include panic, catastrophic thinking, emotional urgency, fear of abandonment, escalating pursuit, hyperfocus on tone, emotional flooding. Couples need shared language before crisis, not during crisis. Simple phrases matter. For example, you know what? I'm becoming overloaded right now. That has nothing to do with you. It's my system. I'll own it. Or my nervous system is escalating. It's my problem. I need regulation before discussion. I'm not abandoning you. I need some recovery time. I will be the one to come back. I need reassurance before space. Now, these phrases create predictability, and predictability creates safety. Step 2, separate space from rejection. This is huge. Many trauma survivors experience distance as abandonment, but autistic regulation often requires temporary reduction of sensory and emotional input. So couples need structured separation instead of emotional disappearance. Instead of, I'm done, leave me alone, we need, my nervous system is overloaded right now. I need about 30 minutes or so and I'll come back. That final sentence changes everything because trauma often fears permanent emotional loss. Predictable return reduces terror. Step 3, reduce sensory load immediately. During escalation, couples often focus only on the words, but sensory regulation may matter more than verbal processing. Lower the lights, reduce the noise, stop simultaneous talking, slow pacing, decrease physical crowding, pause problem solving. You can't cognitively regulate a nervous system that is physiologically overwhelmed. Step 4, stop pursuing resolution during flooding. This is where many couples accidentally re-traumatize each other. The traumatized partner desperately wants resolution now because uncertainty feels unbearable. The autistic partner desperately wants escape now because overload feels unbearable. And both nervous systems push harder. But resolution during flooding is impossible. The brain regions needed for empathy, perspective taking, and flexible communication are severely compromised. So stabilization must come before problem solving, not after. Now let's talk about emotional safety and how it is a system. Here's something many couples miss. Emotional safety is not created during crisis. It's created before crisis. Safety becomes cumulative. It develops through repeated experiences of predictability, repair, follow-through, non-shaming communication, nervous system awareness, emotional pacing, and relational consistency. The traumatized partner needs evidence that you will not emotionally disappear forever. And the autistic partner needs evidence you will not overwhelm me during neurological collapse. Both partners need safety. Both need compassion. Both need structure. And this is why neurodiverse relationships often require a completely different framework than traditional relationship advice. I feel statements and love languages, that's not going to calm a nervous system. Standard advice often assumes equal nervous system processing styles. But the couples I'm referring to in this video are navigating radically different neurobiological realities. Now let's talk about the most important reframe. I want to end with perhaps the most important thing you can take away from this video. Many couples begin seeing each other as the enemy, but often the true enemy is unmanaged nervous system escalation. The meltdown is not proof of evil. The trauma response is not proof of manipulation. These are frequently adaptive survival responses that became overgeneralized. And healing begins when couples stop asking, well, who is the bad person here? And start asking, how do we create enough safety for both nervous systems to stabilize? Because emotional safety is not built through winning. It's not accomplished through scorekeeping. It's built through understanding, pacing, predictability, and repair. And for many neurodiverse couples, learning co-regulation is not optional. It becomes the foundation that determines whether the relationship feels survivable. Now, if this video resonated with you, I want you to know something. You're not crazy for feeling overwhelmed by these cycles. These dynamics can become incredibly intense because they involve trauma, neurobiology, attachment, sensory processing, and survival responses all interacting simultaneously. But understanding changes things. Language changes things. Structure changes things. And emotional safety can absolutely become more possible when couples stop personalizing every nervous system collapse and begin learning how to regulate together instead of fighting against each other. Now, if this video helped, subscribe for more content on neurodiverse relationships, autism, trauma-informed communication, emotional regulation, and relationship healing. And if you feel comfortable, share below. What has helped your relationship create more emotional safety during high-stress moments? See you in the next video. Would you like to schedule a paid private coaching session? This will be in the form of a face-to-face Zoom call. Underneath any of my videos, you'll see this Calendly link. If you click on that link, it'll open up my calendar. You can pick the available days and times that works for your schedule. You'll get a follow-up email immediately after purchasing a session that will have the Zoom link that coincides with the day and time that you picked. I will get an email too that you scheduled a session, and I will be available on that exact day and time, and we will talk. I look forward to working with you. Hey guys, this is Mark. Some of you may not know that I have a lot of books on Amazon. So if you like my videos, you'll like my books. I have several for ASD spouses, for NT spouses, and for the neurodiverse couple. Underneath any of my videos, you'll see this link. Feel free to click on that link and see what's available. I'm sure you'll find something that applies to you. So if you're struggling in your neurodiverse marriage, help is available, one click away.